Right, next up we're going to be making a guitar for Kevin Bond of SuperJoint. I've got some beautiful flame maple pieces here today from this one big section. I've cut up the neck blank and the fretboard, and I've got this beautiful one-piece mahogany body. We're going to go ahead and glue up the top, and then we're going to glue the top onto the body, and then we're going to start with the neck. We're going to do a beautiful honey brown burst on this. Really nice figured maple. Should make a really interesting, awesome guitar. So here's the big piece I was talking about. It's got a little bit of a knot that I had to cut out there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and size up the neck blank. And since I'm making one, I might as well make two. So we'll cut this first blank out to about 30 by 4. And we'll reset the fence and do it again, so I can get 2 neck blanks out of this piece. And then I'm going to resize this for my top, which is about 17 by 8. And we're going to take this then to my drum sander. With drum sander, we want to get it even on 2 sides before I take it to the joiner, and run this on the joiner before I take it back to the bandsaw to resaw it. So just a basic Craftsman joiner. And then I've got my Laguna 16 HD bandsaw. And since I do a lot of bandsawing and resawing, this was well worth my investment. You can see how beautiful that figured wood is right off the saw. So we're going to cut the fretboard off. And we're going to resize it and cut the other piece as well. We'll take this back down to the basement and we will glue this up. A little bit of wood glue, some clamps to hold it down on both sides, clamp it together, we're going to drop a clamp on the top so I get the right bracing, and then we'll begin to draw out the control lines. So for this, I want to make sure I've got the control channel already routed. That way I don't have to do any drilling. It's cleaner. And I've got a big 7/8 bit. And what we're just going to do is route from the neck pickup to the bridge pickup to the control panel. So I'm not 100% sure how this is going to look, but I know I need a channel about that size, and that's why I stuck the template on to see where this is going to sit. So we're going to size up the top once it's glued. We'll attach the template with some screws. We're going to take this over to my Craftsman bandsaw. This is probably one of my favorite tools in the shop. Relatively cheap price point. Holds a little blade to do all the contour cuts. And that way I don't have to swap out blades. Ideally, I'd love to have another big bandsaw to do this, but this Craftsman saw works great. It's probably one of my better investments. And then I've got my little Craftsman table router with a top bearing bit. I will go ahead and route this. And these are tools that any of you guys can get at Sears. Outside the drum sander and the Laguna bandsaw, these are all sort of basic tools you can find anywhere. So I'm going to glue this up. Again, we're going to use some basic wood glue. Get an old credit card and we'll spread this out. So much glue here I didn't really want to use my finger. Pop this on, screw it in from where I had it screwed before. And we'll take this then to my wine press clamp and clamp it down. So after it's been dry for about 24 hours, we'll go ahead and cut this out on the bandsaw in the basement again. Cut out all the scrap. Again, we'll take this to the table router and route off the waste. So then the body's pretty much done here, and it's ready for the pickups and the top carve, and we'll do that in a whole separate video, show you how to carve this by hand. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next vid.